Hey friends, I'm so glad you're here with me today. I'm going to paint a simple landscape. I'm going to play off of this landscape and video painting I did. I'll link it in this video's description, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I think I'm going to make that little barn building smaller, and it's based off of a reference photo. Gotta find it. There we go. I think this is on Unsplash. You'd think I could remember. How many times have I said think? I'll link this in the video's description. Okay guys, let's have some fun. Okay, let's set the table. I've got an 8" by 8" cradled wood panel from US Art Supply, 1.5" thick. I really like these. Link in this video's description if you're curious about some of my art supplies. Let's start with the paints. I'm using what I call my primaries. I switch out the blue a little bit. Sometimes I use Phthalo blue green shade. I've got titanium white. I just dropped a ruler down behind my desk. Oh, it was my T-square. Titanium white. Things are falling. I think I might use some Quinacridone Magenta. I'm gonna try to keep this kind of a green, soft green painting. We'll see what happens. Because I'm gonna paint the sky bluish, or blue. So Magenta isn't on my palette yet. Mars Black. Just giving you a heads up. I'll link the colors in this video's description. Cad Yellow Medium Hue. I started using more basics during the pandemic and I love them. I love that so that box is half full, meaning it's semi-transparent. And I like that because I can glaze and put layers on. And I'm using Phthalo blue. The box is full, so it's opaque. It's not transparent, so you can't see through it very well. And then I just sketched on, I'm gonna grab hang on, I'll grab my ruler. Okay. I don't know how, that probably wasn't that loud on the video because my microphone cancels out some noises. I don't know if you heard it jangle down. So I came down 2.5 inches, about 1/3. And then I think I'm gonna leave a light line sort of hinting at a road back here. And then there's a tree line. And then I figured I don't want this to come to the corner. So, and I wanted to end at about 1/3. It ends at the road. Oops, I stuck my thumb in white paint. At about 2 3/4 inches. So it's close. I'm wiping the paint off my thumb. And then I put my house smack in the middle, which you don't always do, but I'm gonna have the strong lines going here. I have the trees here. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do over here. In the reference photo, there's a hay bale. I don't know if I'm gonna add hay bales. I didn't have it in my sketch. So then I just said, okay, I want that line to go about there. So then I just tilted this one out. And then I figured after a little bit where my vanishing point would be based on this line. And then let's slow down a little bit. So I'm a little off there. Oh, and then I did it based on this line. Because I just sketched that out without figuring out where it would really go. So then I found where that line would be and kind of moved it out a little bit. I'm using white charcoal General's white charcoal pencil and a black charcoal pencil. Oop, it won't focus unless I... Well, maybe it still won't focus. Maybe it's just my glasses. And I'm going to bring it over to the sides. It's easier with a T-square on here. This one I just kind of eyeball it. And I'm a little nervous about how it looks. Oops, that probably needs to come down. This is a kneaded, K-N-E-A-D-E-D, like you knead bread, eraser. I'm going to bring that down a little more like that. This probably should come down a little more. Oops, I don't know if that's even on camera. Okay. I'm a little nervous about how this looks. I'm not really liking it, but it's going to, I'm hoping it's going to be like, whoops, like this one. Come on, I always have trouble with technology and T-squares falling down. So we're not going to talk a lot about anything. We're going to keep it simple. I don't think I'm not going to put clouds in this one. Okay, guys, I might paint a little bit before I call it quits for tonight. And I think, actually, we could put the tree trunk. Oh, then I mismade that. We could kind of put the tree trunk here. If we do that, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to handle those. Trees make me nervous. I need more practice with them. But I'm thinking shapes. I have a shape. And I may paint over them. Oops, almost put a tree trunk. I may paint over them to get the sky in. I'm not totally sure how I'm going to do that. But that's also part of the fun. It's like, okay, let's see if we can just kind of do this on the fly. So when you go back here, this just popped into my head. You can figure it all out. I'm looking, oh, there it is. I'm looking for my pencil. When you go back and space this way, it's 1 point perspective. Here's my point. And I figured it out after the fact because I knew I wanted the road there. And then I put this line in, so then I knew I had a point going somewhere. But when you're going back into space, just make them littler, and then as you go back, I almost need a piece of paper. The uprights get closer together as you go further in the distance, and they get further apart. Like I put this upright on this side, and then the size gets smaller. Do you see the triangle shape? It almost goes to a point, but it just gets smaller as it goes into space. Okay, I hope those comments help. I'm gonna play, I think, with the sky for a little bit and then call it quits tonight. Hey friends, this is at least a couple days later. Gosh, it could be more than that. Oh gosh, it might be 3 or 4 days later. Life has been happening to me. It's just one of those things that you have to take care of family stuff sometimes, which I'm grateful that I can do that. I have the flexibility of a job and you guys hang out with me. You know, you hang in there with me if I'm not posting as often on YouTube and stuff. So but what's kind of good, what's bad and good is you can lose your direction and the train of thought you had going. But I think what's good is I can see I pretty much have the same value. So I wanna, of course if I put blue in here, I wonder if that's gonna be too much blue. don't want it white, but maybe come back and just kind of of course, I like that some of the green is coming through. That's another thing I want to talk about. And you know what? This may be so thin that I have to do it again. You know, it just might not. Okay, we'll see how that looks. Right now it looks quite a bit whiter, but I think that's because it's wet. And the other thing I was thinking is that I might do a fairly just green painting. And I've started putting in browns and reds because I was painting the shapes, the shape of the road off in the distance. So now I see something else that I kind of don't like. Kind of got a little messy. I don't know if that cleaned it up at all. Come back and clean that up. So I thought I'd pop in and just let you know it's been a couple days. I'm using basically primary colors. I think I want to pretty much use, I just stuck my finger in that color a lot. Maybe what I need to do is just paint values. Oh, we need to talk about where the sun's coming from. So the reference photo, it's a cloudy day, but you can see some shadows going this way from the trees. So we could, I don't know if this will even be in frame. We could put Mr. Sun. I could also back out just a little bit more. Okay, guys, we're gonna go for a little bit of a ride. I don't know if that helps much. Well, you can kind of see the rays a little bit. I can maybe pull them out a little bit more. This is a sticker in my merch shop. It's a very abused, well-loved sticker. But if you want one, you can see it below in this video's description. Or I have links in the video's descriptions to buy merch. Okay, I think I'm just basically, I'm painting shapes. I'm painting some of the big areas. And I think where I'm going to go now is put in the trees and just focus on values and use one color. And then maybe come back and add color. I was thinking an overall fairly green painting, but that might not work. And I was thinking a green barn, but I don't know if that'll work. We just have to find our way a little bit, but values will get us there, and we can always add more color if we want. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, let's stop and chat a minute. This is the next day. I was chatting and talking about the painting and I got a phone call and I think I painted a little more because I forgot I was videoing. I think, all right, let's see. So I like a lot of things that are going on and I don't paint as many landscapes. So it's kind of like I've painted a bunch of cow faces. You get better. Even though you don't see the improvement, you get better as you go. I like these, and that's about as dark as they can go. So I'm wondering, as I look at my phone, I want these lighter, but it looks better in person. I'm thinking, well here, I've been using, in case I didn't mention this a little while ago, I'm using a 1/2" flat brush from Royal and Langnickel. It's their Zen line. I don't know if that'll focus. And then I've been using a No. 2 round brush from Princeton. It's they're select. I'm thinking maybe the sunspots wouldn't be so bright. These are pretty dense trees. Maybe we just want to make them kind of red, more road color. I wonder if that would make more sense. So it's a hole, but maybe not a sunspot. I don't know. I'm going to do that. Of course, these two line up. So a little quinacridone, a little brown, a little white. That's kind of pink. A little yellow. I don't know, that might be too much bright color. And I don't know if that's actually the problem. Sometimes you have to just try things and see. I know for me, a lot of times I paint, especially the landscape, I paint too much details, and then I need to come back with some bigger strokes to make them more shapes. Sky holes help. Here, let me finish this and I'll show you. Maybe actually the pink is kind of nicer. Kind of like it there. But I might be getting too much detail. I might need to make it more of a shape, less spotty. One of these days I need to paint dappled light. That would be fun. I need a better reference photo. So here, I'm going to give you a look at the trees so far. Now you can see the sky holes better. But I don't know if it's going to, yeah. When I set it down, of course now you might not be able to unsee them, but when I set it down, your eye just sees it as more trees. I think this needs to be bigger. It makes the barn look a lot bigger. I don't know. I think it needs to be a little bit, it gets to be interesting because these trees get big quite quick. So I'm thinking this needs to be bigger. Oh, and as long as I'm thinking about that, I added some straight up phthalo blue, just thin. So sometimes my trees get a little misty back in here, which can be totally fine. You've got a lot of atmosphere. I'm really trying to get a lot of depth going, atmospheric perspective. But sometimes it also can help to put a little juicier color so they aren't too misty. I mean, I hear myself and I think I'm overthinking it. And then really this painting could be cropped, you know, because I didn't make the barn as big. But let's see if I can solve the problem if I have too much weight over here and, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do. I could put in a tree. I could put in like a smaller tree. I'm kind of calling this Farm Fields, but I think the title is going to be Barn Road. So, I mean, we could, or I could even put a tree more here, which would make sense. There's usually trees around the barn. Okay, what else? Do I need to give you a little tour here while we're stopped? I like that the greenish background's coming through in the sky. And then I was aiming for a mostly greens painting, but then me in compliments, I'm hinting at a little bit of red and green are compliments. I might have to try it again. Maybe just paint like a green and white or green value painting, kind of like I did with a black and white painting and a cow with a sunflower in its mouth, and then I glazed it. Maybe I need to kind of force myself to just go all green and then add color. I like how this looks. I don't know. In my phone right now, I don't know if I mind the size. Probably should almost take a photo, make it black and white and see how that looks. Well, I hope some of these comments help. So my painting isn't like a failure. There's a lot of things I like about it. I'm surprised how much I like this green barn. I thought I always think of red barns or white barns. But I didn't totally, I don't know, I'm heavy over here. And I think I'm too busy here. I don't think the pink did a darn thing to you. I don't think it did a darn thing. Okay, guys, I'm going to play with it some more and I'll be back. Hey friends, I don't think it's been that long with the time lapse since I last popped in. I don't think I mentioned earlier that for some of the bigger strokes, I'm using an angle brush. It's a 3/4 inch from Royal and Langnickel. Okay, I'm kind of excited. So I don't paint as many landscapes because it takes more thought. I should have maybe planned out the design a little bit better or gone with my original design more closely. You know, there's always, you always take little turns and you're like, I wonder if that was a good turn. So here, let's do this. Hopefully there's not too much glare. I took a photo from when I last talked to you and I was like, I don't know about the spots and the shadows, but look, can you see how my shadow from my trees is about the same value as the shadow in the ground? It's a little darker than the road. I was kind of getting there, and I was kind of, it becomes sort of intuitive. It's like playing the piano, you know, I don't know, you can hear it or you get in the rhythm of it, or playing a sport, you know, the more you practice, the more you just kind of get that gut feeling, but it's really based on learning and trying and practicing and practicing. So anyway, now look, I took a photo of this. I just took a photo with my phone and then desaturated it. Okay, now my shadows are calmer, which I like. And my road is lighter. My shadows, I'm starting to wonder. No, I think they're okay. They're lighter than my trees. Usually the trees and like a building that's upright can be your darkest thing. But I'm saying there's a lot of light shining on the front of that building. So I think that's a lot better. And then I was saying, and I was right, like this space here was too big. So I put a line in there. I just got out my little T-square and put a line in to break up the space, kind of like if you're in an airplane and sometimes crops are in almost a grid, the different sections. Or I'm not a farmer, but you guys know, I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. But it also adds another, it like breaks up the space almost on the third. This is a little lower than the third, but that's okay. And I think the bigger hay bale works. So now I'm like, I don't know if I even need a tree because I made things darker. And the whole point, after all those words, is values do the work. Okay, so now and before, this isn't bad. But you guys let me know in the comments. I think this is better. It's a little more interesting. I have darker over here to help balance the darker over here. I might even go a little darker. You know, all these brushstroke lines, it's basically 1-point perspective. They lead you in. The value of my sky looks good. And then the color is yummy. Okay, I hope that helps. I'm kind of excited about that. You know, I should more often take, I know other artists do it. It's a tried and true thing that a lot of artists do. You take a photo and make it black and white and you can see things better. Well, I finally did it, you guys. I'm like, oh, that helped. And I'm laughing because a lot of times we are our own worst enemies. At least I can speak for myself in that area. Okay, I think I might be about done. I'm gonna step away from it, come back and play with it. I think darker over here. I don't know, we're pretty close. So now I'm stepping back from the iPad and looking at it at a distance. We're pretty close, maybe actually darker here. But it's a lot better. Okay guys, I'll be back in a bit. Okay guys, what do you think? I don't know if I actually needed to go dark there. Usually, it's off in the distance, there's enough atmosphere, but you do go one more step into my background. You could argue it either way. I went darker and a little warmer here, so I have a 2-color shadow. I tried darker over here, and I don't think it was bad. These trees are so strong. I could lighten them up. That's another option. You know, as long as I keep them darker than the shadows, I could lighten them up, and then this would become a huge bullseye. But right now, I've got this going on. Gosh, I could lighten those up. You can tell I'm thinking about it. I like this bigger. I put a little blue in it, and then it's a target. Since it has a circle, it becomes a bullseye, so that helps. And I think what really helped is I pretty much put down white. Of course, some of the color comes through. So then I have more contrast here. That helps pull you this way. And then I have both of these kind of here. I could define the road more. I pretty much lose the edges. I don't with the color. Here, let me show you. But I do lose the edges of the road with the black and white. I mean, you see it. There's a little dark here. But yeah, this really is strong, which helps. I think that helps more than when I had darker over here. It commands your attention, I think. Gosh, I wonder if I want to lighten those trees a little. You can play with a painting forever. But I think I solved a lot of problems and this is better. Please let me know if you don't think so. So here's what I'm calling done. I'm looking through my phone because it's a great way to step back. Yeah, that calls a lot more attention, doesn't it? And then I'm just playing with horizontal lines and diagonal lines. Just kind of play a little bit to entertain. I also put more white back here on the road and the dark to help pull you in. I mean, this is a nice strong bullseye, pulls you in. And so I lightened the road up a little bit there and a little bit there, but not over here. You know, kind of keep the whites bringing you in. Oh yeah, it's improved. In my opinion, art is very opinion based. Yeah, this is I've got the values are much better. I was gonna say way better. And then breaking up into more shapes is helpful. You can overdo everything or underdo it. And then it just boils down to what you like. You know, this is a nice bullseye with a nice bright spot on there. That helps. Okay, let me know what you think. You can tell I'm tempted to lighten my trees. It is easier to see the black and white. I don't know. I think I'll just leave it. It pushed me. I learned a lot. No. I don't know. I just don't think I need to. I could lighten this one up a little bit. It's closer to us. Let's just grab some of my medium green. See, I don't know if I'm going to like it after I put it down. Because see, it makes me nervous to lighten it up. Because it's going to dry a little darker. Put a little blue in this one. I think we'll call it good. I learned a lot. It's a good solid painting. It's basically 1 point perspective. Kind of goes off a little bit. It probably would make more sense to have the point be there, but my point was about there. It's fun. The compliments are fun. There's a lot that's going for it. Okay, guys. Thanks for tagging along with me. Thank you for the comments and the shares and all your support. I see such nice, kind comments, and it just lifts me up. I can't thank you guys enough. Great, big, happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.